Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here. So I've just finished picking up my grass, and I've actually gotten the biggest harvest that I've had by about, I don't know, might be up to 1,000, but it's probably not quite that much. But yeah, I've done pretty well. So I have 317,000 plus in the silos over there, doing its thing. And I am now going to, instead of going to the edge of the field, I'm going to start doing this. And I'm going to see if that changes anything as far as the fertilization score, because what I was getting was 21.8. And I'm thinking it's because I'm not quote-unquote fertilizing every last inch of grass. So like that whole area out there, the ends on the other end. So I'm testing that by basically letting the spreader throw it a little wider, and obviously also a little bit longer, to see if that raises my environmental score. So my overall thoughts on how things went, kind of as I figured with the location as it is. It certainly ends up being a little easier on these fields, and definitely on field 39 south of there, to get to the silo and feel like it's a little more centrally located. Now, once again, I think when I go to sell it, obviously I've got that extra, whatever it is, 1,000 meters, 500 meters, I don't know. And so this is kind of what I'm thinking, where like on this end I was cutting it down, and similarly as I went up, I was doing that a little bit. I'm just going to spread it at this point so that there's no possibility that I missed any of my land. And I'm going to see if how close that gets me to 30. I'm hoping at a minimum it gets me higher than the 21.8 I was at in total. Now, once again, I may not know that until the next grass harvest, but with me heading out, I think I'm going to be able to get the harvest off the field in the morning before I head to the airport. So that's kind of the hope. So here we go. Like, we are spreading some here. It turned itself off, but now it turned itself back on. And again, some of this is just, that's where the field is. You know, right now it's giving me the same score I had. This one got a little higher. So I got to 93, and I haven't fertilized that one yet. Turn it on and start spreading early. And once again, as you saw, it was kind of doing that. But until I harvest, I don't think I'm going to get any kind of credit. Now, obviously, this will take more fertilizer, so there will be some more cost in there. But if I can get my bonus up 2%, you know, that may be more than enough to cover the extra $1,000 or something that I'm going to have. I did have one fertilizer contract that I started this morning. So yeah, it's like tossing on there because it was the edge. So that's what I'm hoping, is that grass down there that wasn't getting touched, that was part of what was my problem. And similarly, I normally shrink this edge of the field to just do the 15 meters at the end. And I'm just going to let it throw, and you know, that's probably going to use more fertilizer than normal. But even this way, it is lower. It's just, is it because I'm getting the grass and I'm obviously throwing it onto the road and all the way across a little bit, even though that's not mine? Like, will this move me up 2% is what the experiment is here. But at this point, I'm ready to go. So other than contracts for a couple days, again, I'm at the point now that I should be able to perhaps harvest. You know, I may have to pass up contracts because I'm not going to have the option like I did this morning in all cases, of just going in and doing what I need to get some contracts as well. Alright, so there is some fertilizing, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. So this is exactly kind of the hope that I have. I know I'm going to need more. I'm going to need a bag at least, so I'm going to have to go get some fertilizer. Alright, so here we should be good. Be able to once again see we're at 10. So this baling contract needs to go to the small stave silo. That's where we can't deliver. We had those problems earlier, and nobody's been able to get a weeding contract to actually work. You usually get the weeder, you get over to the field, and it doesn't touch the weeds, and therefore you don't get anything. So that's why those were there, but the fertilizing contracts do work. Alright, now in this case, I honestly don't know that little bit how much that will really save me, so I don't think I'm going to really kind of play around with it. I'll just go ahead and understand that I'm going to use a little bit more fertilizer than I normally would have, because I'm throwing it probably 3-4 meters off the edge, but shrinking it down and then readjusting the line and so forth, it doesn't seem that it'll be worth it. Once again, I'll just stay here, and then once it's complete, we'll be able to mark that and we'll be set. There we go. Just a little bit left. Head back to my fields now. Certainly probably going to be done for a bit. If the contract wasn't there, I would have been ready to sign off. I've been on here for several hours doing the grass. Like, obviously that work hasn't sped up any. It still takes about a couple hours to do everything and all the work that needs to happen. And I could have gotten a little bit more here in the in-between, but it just doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. So I'm actually going to leave this because I may have more fertilizer contracts, and that way I don't have to worry about connecting up. I can just jump in and go. So that is where I'm at here, as we're ending spring. I should then be able to harvest in July, which I'm still going to be able to do. I'll still be here, but then I'm gone. And so then, at best, I'm going to get another harvest when I return, which is not bad. I mean, that means I'm potentially just going to lose one. But if I don't get the opportunity to get to the harvest in 2 days, that would throw things off, and then I would only get 2. So I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen. I don't think I'm going to have to lime next time, but I would have to lime after. So that's going to be work that's going to get taken care of as well. But that gets you up to speed of where I'm at here, and I will see you next time. Alright, so I'm back. Call it an epilogue, call it what you will, but generational farming is a moving animal. And as I was getting ready to sign off, we've gotten some additional news. There were 2 tractors here. They're now gone. So that was why I was getting back on, because the news we had gotten was we're able to move 3 pieces of equipment with us. And so there was some used tractors that would have been great, but they're gone. So that is the situation. So we are being told we're going to be able to move, we're going to be moving winter 1 of year 110 in FSN. We are currently in year 106. So technically that means we've got almost 4 full game years. So we're going to play through 106, 107, well, wait a minute, 107, 108. It's almost like 5 game years, because we're in 106, then we're going to have 107, 108, 109, and 110, because it's winter 1, which means we can get all the way through. That is the info, and we are being told we are moving to Westby, Wisconsin. So a few changes. I was hoping I would have something exciting to show, but I won't. But definitely going to keep an eye on the used market. This is new. This hasn't been there. But there were literally 2 tractors when I signed on this morning, either of which would have been decent. Now they're not there. So I think they were just random in-game appearances, but we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's the update to add on here. Hi everyone, Mature Simmer here, back yet one more time for this episode for just another quick update, but this one's probably the biggest one of all. I've gone ahead and made the decision to go ahead and buy field 36. Had nearly enough cash for it, so did have to go into debt, and then obviously had to go into some further debt as I was going ahead and working it, because I had to lease the equipment to plant grass. So when I bought the field, it had sugar beets in it. Obviously, that's not what I am doing. I am doing grass. So I've gotten this done. There's no point in carrying any loan balance overnight. Obviously, if I get additional work later today, if I happen to find some, I'll go ahead and obviously make further payments. But at this point, I'm at $210,000, but that field itself cost me $605. So I'm still kind of in the positive realm, just not as much as I was before. Because obviously, again, at the end, this field will get sold. I'll get all that money back, along with what I have in the other fields. So I've gone ahead and planted the grass. I tried to stone pick, but it won't pick up. So there's not much I can do here, but I figured this big of a field I would try it. So I had rented a stone picker. That turned out to be a waste because it wouldn't allow me to pick anything up. So I think like once you have grass in the ground, it's done. And I didn't want to plow and then stone pick, because then that creates a tillage issue. Again, on the next map I might do something a little bit different. But the other thing I'm going to have to figure out, but I'm going to wait until I need it in a couple days, because there's no point in putting structures up and more importantly paying interest. If I could do it in cash, that'd be one thing, but I'm going to need more silos. Because if we look at this, this is 6.86 hectares. It's actually almost 18 acres of field, and that's compared to the 10 acres I have. So I've nearly tripled my land by this purchase. But more importantly, it's, a pretty good yield potential compared to other options. So, really the only other two I was looking at was here or here. They all have their slight disadvantages, and since I was able to do this rather than doing that and then making this something I had to wait on, I just decided I'd go ahead and do that and then see if that's enough. But at this point, knowing that we're going to be on longer, it just makes sense to go ahead and do that. I did pick up a piece of equipment on the used market, and it was just a windrower. Nothing that I need now, but because it was used, and we can roll over 3 pieces of equipment, that would likely be something I would move over. Obviously, if I can get a tractor I want to move, I'll go ahead and do that as well. Right now, I'd like to beef that up a little bit. We'll see what comes up in the used market. But that's what I've got as the update right now. Thinking this is really all I'm going to have for today, so hopefully this really does wrap it up. I will see you next time.